Sonic the Hedgehog. Sonic the Hedgehog was not something that I was really obsessed with, but I think I obsessed over the people that were obsessed with Sonic. It was an enjoyable experience to see how these people can fall into a degeneracy if they're really not careful with their obsessions. I'm not saying that this creator is obsessed with Sonic the Hedgehog, but they wrote a fan fiction, and I did not read it yet, so this is a blind read, and I really do hope you enjoy reading it with me. The title is called Sonic the Hedgehog The Adventure by SargentCuneo. I do apologize if I said that wrong. The bio goes, this is a novelization of Sonic the Hedgehog, Chapter 2 Up, Sonic the Hedgehog 1, Green Hill Zone, Marble Zone, please review. It's rated K+. It's written in English. It has adventure tones. It has 2 chapters and 4,324 words with 16 reviews. If you watched The Headless Carfood, you would know that the reviews are top class of this website. And, I don't feel like these reviews will be any different or may surpass our expectations. This was faved 4 times, and there's 3 follows for this story. I do believe that's for the story, that there's 3 follows. This was published on June 28th, 2004, and updated on July 3rd, 2004. So this story was finished in this amount of time. I'm not doing the math right now. I don't want to do the math, so I'll put it on the screen. Thank you, future me. And I feel like this is their magnum opus. I feel like this was their holy grail, and they understood that they couldn't really change much about it because, you really can't change perfection. So we'll just start reading, and we'll enjoy the story. I do believe the chapter is called Meet Gus Ashall. So, you might have to meet Gus Ashall after this story. This is chapter 1. Disclaimer. Hey, since you're stupid enough to think I own Sonic the Hedgehog, let's just say I do. Hey guys, this is the owner of Sonic the Hedgehog. So, respect their privacy and their work. So let's just start. Sonic the Hedgehog The Adventure. Sonic stood outside a white building that went high into the sky. This must be the place, he muttered to himself. 3 days ago, Sonic received a letter from some reporter guy who said he was looking for a story, and Sonic had a story and a half to tell. Deciding to see what this guy wanted, Sonic had come to this building where... I'm not the grammar police, I'm not the karma police. Shout out Radiohead. But... okay. We'll just read it the way it's intended, of course. This is the creator of Sonic the Hedgehog, They're the owner, so they know better than I am. Deciding to see what this guy wanted, Sonic had come to this building where he was to meet the reporter. Before Sonic was able to open the door, he heard a familiar voice call his name. Hey, Sonic, Tails yelled as he ran up beside the blue hedgehog. Doesn't he fly? Doesn't Tails fly? I guess he can run. Why am I being so greedy? Yo, Tails, what's up? Yo, Tails, what's up? Sonic asked, surprised to see his friend in this city. What city is this? Chicago? Not too much. I got an email from someone the other day wanting me to meet him here. Okay. Not too much. I got an email from someone the other day wanting me to meet him here, Tails said. And you? The same as you, he shrugged. I got a letter too. Okay. First of all, Sonic, actually, you got a letter, and Tails got an email. So don't be saying that you got the same thing. Weird. Do you know this guy? Tails asked as they walked in. No, he just said I had a story to tell and he wanted to hear it, Sonic replied. Sonic and Tails walked over to the desk in the middle of the lobby. Hello. Oh, Sonic the Hedgehog. How may I help you? The receptionist asked in a perky tone. I feel like I would do the same thing if I met Sonic the Hedgehog. I would perk up, There's a blue anamorphic Sonic the Hedgehog talking to me. And I think he has his iconic red shoes. Yeah, I guess we got a letter asking us to meet someone here, Sonic said to the woman. Oh yes, I was told you would be here today. Take that elevator over there and go to the 10th floor. Then go into the 3rd hall on the right, room 158, she said as she pointed to her right to an elevator. How do you think this guy knew we'd show up? Tails asked the hedgehog as they stepped inside the elevator. Beats me. Heck, he didn't even give us a name, Sonic said as he pressed the button that said level 10. The elevator began to hum as it went up, and soft, yet familiar music could be heard playing out of the speaker. Sonic and Tails were riding up in silence before Rip was heard. It wasn't me. They farted? Sonic and Tails were riding up in silence before Rip was heard. Wasn't me, Sonic said with a dumb look on his face. Ugh, you have the worst manners, Sonic, Tails said as he Why is he sniffing? Ugh, you have the worst manners, Sonic, Tails said as he sniffed the air. Dear God! He mumbled as he contemplated crawling out of the escape hatch above his head. Luckily, however, the elevator stopped and the door slid open. Tails was out as soon as the doors before they were even fully opened. Never do that again. Ever. It's all those chili dogs, Sonic. There was a hallway. There was 4 hallways in front of them, so third hall on the right? Sonic repeated as he looked down the hall in front of him. Yeah, come on, let's go. Tails said as he walked down the hallway. He figured to be the right one. Sonic followed behind Tails, counting off the seemingly infinite number of doors. 148, 150, 152, 154, 156, and 158. Sonic said as he saw the number they were looking for. Sonic put his gloved paw. Does he have a paw? Does Sonic have paws? See, listen, this is the owner of Sonic, so I gotta listen. This is breaking news. Sonic has paws. Sonic put his gloved paw on the doorknob, but Tails stopped him. Hey, it's not polite to go into someone's office without knocking, he said. Sonic just rolled his eyes and opened the door. The two friends entered a room with red carpet, a huge window in the back, a couple bookshelves all packed with books, and a desk with a huge black chair in front of the window. The chair was facing the window, so Sonic and Tails figured the guy didn't know they were there. So Sonic walked in closer, getting a feel as to how big this room was. Excuse me? Did you send a letter to... Sonic began, but was cut off. Sonic the Hedgehog and Miles Prowler, I welcome you to this city, he said as he spun the chair around to face his visitors. Hey, thanks. So, what did you want? Tails said. My name is Gus Shaw. You can call me Shaw, and I'm a novelist and a journalist. I called you both here today because this industry has been repeating itself lately. What the world needs is a good story, and something true, Shaw said, walking over to the furries. So why not tell the story of the legendary Sonic the Hedgehog and his friends? Has no one done this to Sonic yet? Has he not came out with an autobiography? I feel like they're missing. Does Sonic need money? Is Sonic poor? If you wanted to interview us, why call us all the way out into a different city? You could have just emailed us, Tails replied. He did reply. He sent you an email, Tails. You could have replied back. You don't have to go to the city. Just because someone tells you to go somewhere doesn't mean you have to show up. Do not do that. Please understand that you have the right to go wherever you want, not because someone tells you to show up in this location. None of there's no incentive to show up to this random person's building. Do they do that to everyone? I don't think they should. Sonic and Tails do not follow stranger danger laws. You could have just emailed us, Tails replied, thinking traveling to this city could have been avoided. But you see, I wish to capture the voice and the feeling that remember old adventures brings. Personally, I'd like everyone in the world to be able to see what I see, but they cannot, so let's give them the next best thing, Shaw said excitedly. You have Sonic the Hedgehog and Tails Prowler in your office, and you labeled them as furries. You couldn't even describe what you wanted in the email or the letter. I don't even know if the letter is typed. Does the Sonic not just have an email? Can Tails not just give Sonic an email and then they could just figure that out by himself? Where is Sonic's address? Why does this man have Sonic's address? There's so many. Why does he have Tails' address? What is... You know what? I don't know. Listen, I'm not the owner of Sonic the Hedgehog. Okay, Shaw, that's fair enough. Where do you want to begin? Sonic said, taking advantage of the chairs in the front of the desk. Something told him the guy wanted the whole story, and this would take a while. You know what? Sonic's a good guy. I'm just a jerk. I'm sorry, Sonic. You're so right. You should just, tell this guy your whole life story because he wanted to. Start at the very beginning. Your first adventure. What was it? And don't skip any details. Shaw said, taking a set in his... He's taking a set in his chair. Okay. Oi, this will take... Oi, this will take a while, Tails thought, taking the chair to the right of Sonic, but at least I'll get to hear the story again. Okay. He's nice. They're both nice creatures. They're both furries. Well, that's the end of the introductory chapter. Next chapter is where Sonic depicts the events as played in Sonic the Hedgehog. Of course, since this is text and there's no pictures, I should describe everything, and I'll need to make the whole dialogue to go with the story. So it could take some time, but it will be done. Please review. Whoa, what is this? I'm not going to say that. That looks like it's like ancient text. The owner of Sonic the Hedgehog is trying to hex me into reading this text. I'm not doing that. So now it's time to move on to the second chapter. The second chapter is called Green Hill Marble Zone. So we did meet Gus Shaw. Seems he's a journalist and a newspaper writer that apparently has Sonic the Hedgehog's email. No, he has Sonic the Hedgehog's address, or maybe P.O. Box, and Tails is an email. Who is this guy? Who is this guy? Does everyone have the information? Okay, here we go. Here's another disclaimer. Oh, this time he said disclaimer. I'll count that because there's no two M's. Disclaimer, I do not own Sonic the Hedgehog. Okay, I think I'll give some quick reviewer responses. Oh, he's answering some reviewer responses, so we won't. We'll talk about the reviews after, so let's just go to the stories, and then we'll look back at the reviews. Well, I guess you could say it all started years ago on Mobius. Eggman was trying to take over the world, as usual, and I set out to save my animal friends, who Buttnick put inside his robots. Oh, is that like Robotnik? I was running through the green forest, which is normal, rich in animal life, but the only thing I saw was robots. Lots of them. I wasn't paying much attention to the path in front of me, and when I looked back in front of me, I saw a ladybug-type robot coming at me fast. I quickly curled into a ball and blasted through the robot and stopped. I turned around to see a little rabbit where there had been a robot only seconds ago. I started busting up more robots in the area, and I saw every time an animal pops out of its remains. Angered that someone would do this to this defenseless animals, you are breaking the robot. You are breaking the shield of the little animal. I never got that. So, are the animals safe in the robot until, like, Sonic just destroys their little shield? And apparently they're safe. He blasts right through them. It's like a mech. It's like... The person is still in the mech. You can still hurt the human if you go right through the robot. Sonic, I don't know. Listen, I'm not the owner of Sonic. This guy is. Anyways, let's continue. We'll start off here. I started busting up more robots in the area, and I saw every time an animal pop out of its remains. Angered that someone would do this to the defenseless animals, I dashed off to the end of the forest, and Green Hill came into view. This area wasn't as nearly dense with trees as the forest is, so it was easy to see off into the distance for miles. Just like in the forest, the place was covered in robots and not an animal in sight. I figured that I would take it upon myself to save the animals of Mobius from their current robot forms. I set off, running at a normal pace. Going too fast would mean colliding with a robot. I raced through some rings, picking them up as I went, and in just a few seconds I was faced with another robot, another ladybug one. Simply jumping on the robot meant destruction on its parts, and the animal popped up. See? This is why I have to read. See, he proved my theory. He proved my theory wrong. This guy knows what he's doing. This guy is smart. I am dumb. I am just reading. I continued to run, destroying the bots as they appeared. I went around a loop and saw a box type thing with sparkles on it. Letting curiosity... You know, yeah, okay, yeah, this guy just played Sonic 1. Okay. I went around a loop and saw a box type thing with sparkles on it. Letting curiosity get the best of me, I smashed it open, and I was covered in a shiny layer of something that was emitting sparks of light. I ran along seemingly faster than normal, and I found another robot, a bug one like the ladybug, but this one was flying and looked like a wasp. I didn't expect much of a challenge from this robot either, but as soon as I stopped, it fired a missile at me. Not having enough time to doge. Oh, see, this guy was ahead of its time. He invented Doge. This is the Doge creator and the Sonic owner. See, this is why you read literature. I just flung my arms up, but as soon as I just flung my arms up, but as soon as the projectile hit me, it just faded away. Remembering the light around me, I figured it must be some type of invincibility. With a grin on my face, I jumped at the robot, not even curling into a ball, and it was destroyed. I took off down the trail, smacking down anything in my way, but soon I came upon another type of robot, this one with the pinchers and looked somewhat like a crab. Treating this one like the last few, I just ran at it. Unfortunately, I hadn't noticed the light that was around me had disappeared, and when I had noticed, I was just a split second away from projectile from its pinchers. I barely avoided it by rolling into a ball and slipping under it and colliding with the robot. I came to a stop and sighed. I had almost smashed into that robot at full speed. I got up off the ground and looked up. There was a giant ring floating in the air. Whoa, I thought, that's cool. I figured this could be just like any other ring, so I jumped to grab it, but it disappeared. So Sonic doesn't even know where he goes. This is I think this would cause me to like this would cause me to have a manic attack. But Sonic, Sonic is based. Sonic Sonic is red pilled, okay? Sonic is red pilled. He listens to his podcasts, okay? He's not a soylent drinker like you. When I reappeared, I was in some oversized rotating puzzle room with bumpers and little spheres that changed the way the room would rotate. The walls and floors of the place was way too slippery to stand on, so I had to curl into a ball. And I never was not moving in this place. I rolled down the first section and fell and hit one of the bumpers and got shot against the wall and slid down and almost fell out of the place, but I learned I was able to jump a little, so I was able to avoid falling a few times. Soon as I saw an opening that lead to a new section, slowly I made my way over to it and jumped down. I saw that a wall appeared, telling me something had to be here. After I jumped down, though the now closed opening, I landed on a blue diamond. Once I hit it, it turned green, and then a second later it became yellow, then pink, and finally disappeared completely. After battling with the never-stopping turn system, I destroyed the last one and got into the center where a blue emerald floated. I grabbed the emerald, and as soon as I touched it, the world started spinning and everything blacked out. This guy got drugged. Sonic does drugs? Oh my god. When the black fade out, I saw I was back in Green Hill, but nowhere near where I had been. I walked forward, and I was in an open area with 2 floating platforms. Well, 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 so you the pest who had been destroying my robots. A sinister voice crackled. I spun around to see a large man in a floating machine. Who are you? Are you the one who's did this to... Who are you? Are you the one who's did this to all my friends? I demanded the egg-shaped man. He chuckled. My name is Dr. Robotnik, and yes, I'm the one who made these machines, he said in a chuckle. I clenched my fist. I'm Sonic the Hedgehog, and I'll make you pay for this, I yelled as I charged at him. Ho, ho, ho. All right, Hedgehog, as you wish. He laughed as he pressed a button, and a ball and chain dropped from his machine and began to swing back and forth. How am I going to hit him with that ball swinging back and forth? Fourth like the number, okay. I thought to myself as I jumped out of the way the ball... Wait. The platforms, I said to myself as I jumped onto the platform. What are you doing? Robotnik yelled as I hit his machine. Gah, you'll pay for this. Oh, gah, you'll pay for that, he said as he made the ball go faster, but it was a wasted effort. I had figured out what to do. Another Doge. Oh, shout out Doge. Another Doge. Jump, then attack, then repeat. It was a basic plan, but an effective one. In about 5 or so direct attacks, Robotnik's machine started exploding, and the ball and chain fell to the ground and blew up as well. No, you'll pay for this, he screamed as he took off in what was left of his machine. Hey, get back here, I yelled as I chased him, but his machine was much faster than it looked, and he got away. Dang, I thought. I looked off in the distance where Robotnik was headed and saw something, a capsule. I ran up to it and looked over it. I soon found a switch on top and pressed it. After I hit the switch, the doors on the capsule exploded and animals jumped out. Whoa, I said as I saw all the animals that were almost turned into robots. Robotniks must be stopped, I said as I took off at full speed towards where he was headed. After running for a few minutes, I noticed the ground started to become more marble than dirt. Marble Zone, I muttered to myself. Looks like Robotnik's been here too. I started walking into the main part of Marble Zone, which were the old ruins of some city from the past, but now it was just an underground maze with lava. I sighed inwardly. Looks like I'll have to go to the underground route. I started moving quicker, and soon came to face with a caterpillar-like robot with spikes on its bodies, except the head. I attacked the head with a roll, and the body segment flew off in different directions. I barely escaped being hit with this one. I continued to run, coming across a few of the flying bug robots and destroying them. Then I came upon the thing why most never visit Marble Zone, lava pits. I looked for a way around them, but the only thing in sight was a platform out a ways from the edge. That's the only way across. I'm sure Robotnik has something to do with this, I thought to myself as I stepped back and got some speed before jumping from the edge to the platform. I landed okay, but I felt like the piece of land went under a little. I looked back, and sure enough, my way had caused the platform to go under, and lava was coming up, taking the land with it. Well, crap, I yelled as I jumped. Well, crap, I yelled as I jumped over to the closest thing that looked like safe land. I managed to find land, but I had to grab the edge. Phew, I sighed and looked down to the lava, but it was rising to my feet, rather quickly too. The hell? I yelled in frustration as I clambered up to the top quickly. I sat down and sighed, and then I felt like I was rising back up. I looked over to see the pillar going back up and then back down, and up again. What the? I said as I stood up and looked behind me to see yet another pillar doing the same thing. This place is screwed up. I started jumping onto the pillars. It seemed there were 2 routes, I thought, and then looked up in front of me, and that is a shortcut, I thought for a second on the matter. If I tried to get up there, and was I actually to make it, I'd be out of faster. But if I go down there, then I'll be able to find me robots and more animals. I jumped off the pillar down into the opening. I wasn't about to leave the animals helpless. As soon as I walked into the cave, I saw three huge glass and metal tubes going up and down. So that's what was moving the platforms. I guessed as I quickly jumped under each. I continued forward, and a bat-type robot fell from the ceiling and started flying at me. As soon as I got within range, I jumped right through it, and a happy robot jumped out of it and towards the exit. I smiled and continued into the tunnel. The place had What? What does it say? The place had definably gotten different since the last time I was here. Probably thanks to Robotnik, with chains and spikes, pieces of the ceiling falling down. Yep, it was defiantly worse place than it was once. But the one thing bugged me. Why weren't there many robots in this place? I mean, there were more than enough hazards in this place to begin with, but still I only came across a couple of bats and caterpillar robots so far. I decided to just leave it and take advantage of the situation. I just walked on down until I got to a hole that went down, but but no so deep. But no so deep. Okay, hold on. I just walked on down until I got to a hole that went down, but no so deep as I couldn't see the bottom, which seemed safe enough. I jumped. Oh my god, how long is this? I'm almost there, dude. Oh my god, I'm almost there. This is just describing Green Hill and Marble Zone. Listen, guys. This is the owner of Sonic, okay? This is the owner of Sonic. And he's just writing the they're just describing their gameplay, and I feel like this was written at a really young age where like you want to tell people like, oh my god, I did this and I did this and I did this, and I am the parent who is like making their mac and cheese, and I cannot say anything because I want to let this creature like, exactly. The yapping creature has yapping creatures, so I want this yapping creature to just yap. But it's really killing me. It's really killing me. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Where am I? Where, where am I? Am I disoriented from reading Sonic? There's a whole paragraph. Oh no, I'm stupid. I stopped and spun around. The wall that was behind me started to crack and break. Oh, I'm in trouble now, I said as I started running as fast as possible. I kept running, but the wall exploded and hot lava was filling up the path quickly. The lava started to cause all of the wall around me to give away, with marble rocks falling all around me. Just as the lava was about to get me, the tunnel opened up into a huge room, and I had more movement here, but the lava was filling up the room fast. I quickly looked over. Okay. I had more movement here, but the lava was filling up the room fast. I quickly looked for a way out, but there was nothing. A dead end. Pun intended.
You're so funny, Sonic. You're so funny, Sonic. You're so funny, Sonic. You're so funny, Sonic.
But oh, I get it. Dead end. Oh, okay. Okay. But at the last minute, I stopped something behind me shining brightly. Oh, I'm sorry. But the last minute, I spotted something behind me shining brightly. I spun around to see another giant. I know you want to say giant, but you wrote gain. I'm not going to say giant. I'm going to say gain. But at the last minute, I spotted something behind me shining brightly. I spun around to see another gain ring. Like before, I quickly jumped in. Anything was better than being burned to a crisp by the lava. I reappeared in another rotating room, but this one was different than the last one. I jumped around and found my way to the other side, where I went through and a wall appeared behind me. There must be another emerald here, I thought as I kept going through the room. I rolled around for a few seconds up a path, and then I saw a group of rings, and they were in the shape of an arrow. I went in the direction they pointed and fell on top of a bunch of Wait, what? Okay. I went in the direction they pointed and fell on top of a bunch of blue diamond things like before. Like emeralds? Like the Chaos Emeralds? I might be wrong. There might be diamonds in the Sonic universe. This is the owner of Sonic. I stayed on them, shifting to blue, green, yellow, pink, and finally gone. I was just about to break through the final row and grab the emerald, but the shifting of the room caused me to fall down and almost roll out of the room entirely. At the last second, I managed to jump from the hole and hit a bumper, which sent me back to the diamond things. I broke through them and quickly grabbed the yellow emerald, and the area around me disappeared as well as me. When the world started coming back, I looked around and I was defiantly nowhere near the lava-filled chamber. I ran forward until I heard that familiar laughter. Wah-ha-ha-ha-ha. They're Bowser now? I thought they were Santa. Hedgehog, you lived through my little lava trap, eh? Impressive, Robotnik crackled at me. He crackled. What are the rest of them? Snap and pop? Okay. So you're the one who did that, I yelled in anger at the egg-shaped man, and a little idea started forming in my head. Eggman? Oppenheimer, Einstein, Aristotle. They all picked up pens when they saw Sonic say this. Eggman. When he noticed the guy was egg-shaped. Alright, Sonic. Okay. What? How dare you make fun of me, Robotnik yelled as he smashed a button on... He smashed the like button! Oh my god, Robotnik smashes the like button! What? How dare you make fun of me, Robotnik yelled as he smashed the button on his control console and a rocket blew away the ground I had been standing on a split second ago. Reveling... I know you want to say revealing. I know you want to say revealing. Reveling lava. The lava chamber must have been below us. I will roast you alive. He yelled as a fireball shot down from the bottom of his machine. I jumped up just before it hit the ground and laid a blow to the machine. Ha ha, look below you, you fool. He cooed as pointed below me. I looked down to see the fireball had spread and took up the entire piece of land. Crap, I yelled as I tried to grab a hold of X-Men's machine, but the surface was too slipperier. That's not a real word. And I fell down to the fire below. Luckily, I landed just as the fire disappeared. Eggman started moving towards the next piece of land and shot another fireball. He's trying to get me trapped, I figured, so I'll have to trick him. As he made his way back to my section, I waited until the fire on the other side started to disappear and jumped over just as another fireball stuck where I was standing. As soon as I landed, I turned around and jumped at him as he was crossing over to me. When I landed a hit, I quickly kicked myself back to the platform and waited until he went to shoot another fireball and repeated the process. This went on for about 5 more hits. Then I gave him another attack. His machine started sparking and the tube that had been shooting fireballs exploded. No! He yelled as he tried to fire another shot, but it didn't work. Looks like I broke your toy, Eggy, I taunted from my spot on the ground. He looked over at me and growled some swears at me under his breath. Oh wait, under his breath. Ha 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 ha. So first he was Santa. Then he was Bowser. Now he's just ha-haing. Okay, he's like a laugh track. You're stronger than I expected, but the next time we meet, you won't be so lucky. He laughed as he quickly flew away. I gave him a little chase until I saw that there was another capsule ahead of me. I jumped on the switch atop it, and the doors blew open, this time with even more animals. Looks like Eggy didn't have time to make these animals into robots yet, I said to myself as I continued my way to wherever Eggman was headed. To be continued in part 2, Spring Yard Zone through Starlight Zone. I am not reading that okay? I'm not reading that. This is just like a game manual, and I will not do that. Let's just get to the reviews, okay? There are some reviews from like current era though, like 2013, 2012. So this is, a piece of literature that is being passed down from generation to generation. Little Sonic 23 says, I like it. Cougar Tail 99 says, another very good chapter. In fact, I can't wait to read the next chapters. I'm sure you do. Cougar Tail 99 says, a very good chapter. Okay, thank you. Angelica 32G, you're good. I encourage you to keep writing. You know what? This is nice. This is a nice environment. Stefan says, waiting for the next one. Relax, Stefan. Relax. Interesting. Hey, this is interesting. I don't have Sonic Fic yet, but I will soon. Okay. Thank you, interesting, for saying this is interesting. Toon Freak. Wow, that was cool. So you're going to write Sonic's entire life story, including the Sonic movies, the comics, the games, and the TV series? That would be pretty hard to piece together. Or are you doing it on the first video games? Or all of them? Either way, I can't wait for the next chapter. Yours is the only story I've seen trying to interview Sonic's life. Quite an interesting perspective on the earlier games. Keep writing. This is so nice. I'm so happy he's getting support. Critty Yoop 13524 says, Sweetness, nice to see an actual game adaptation. I like your flashbacks. Some paragraphs are really big though. So you're going to make stories out of all the games? I started doing that way back when. Except I wrote them on paper and have to type them up. The first few are already on my homepage. I might revise them and put them on FF later on. I like your description of the robot fights and Robotnik and Sonic's bantering. About my cliffhangers, well, it's a parody of soap operas, and soap operas are notorious for cliffhangers. Smiley face. Emerald Links. Thanks for reading my story and reviewing. In return, I'm reviewing yours. I like. So, Review for review? Listen, this is a good market. So if you want to get your review done, you better review me. Thanks for reading my story and reviewing. In return, I'm reviewing yours. I remember playing Sonic with my older brother when I was 6 years old, so I don't really remember anything. Thanks for reminding me. Sigh, those were the good times. Sigh, if only we could see her take wing. EO4. Hey, thanks for the review. I love Sonic and Tails. I like Knuckles too. I haven't read many Sonic fanfics. I must have more. I'm looking forward to Chap 3. I don't know what that is. I'm not reading that. P.S. I also have a Malin link fic if you're into that pairing. Okay. Solaris Knight. Very good. The only thing I can say was wrong with is this sentence. I figured I must be some kind of invincibility. Isn't this supposed to be invincibility? Other than that, great work, and please continue. Solar Sonic 100 signing off. Thanks. Pirate Goddess 27. Cool, I like how you're writing in the zones. Very good. Yes, all that writing will be rewarded. With this review! Yay! Hee hee. Can't wait for the next chapter. P.S. That paragraph starts with after running for a few minutes has got to be the longest paragraph I've ever seen on. Kudos. We got another review from Pirate Goddess 27. That was a great first chapter. I'm really curious to see what you do with it. Great job so far, and I shall be reading more as soon as you post the next chapter. I'll be waiting. P.S. Thank you so much for reviewing. It's great to know that people think it's funny. So a lot of the reviews are just review for review, and I think that's a nice way to get people to read your content. And it's really nice that people are also like writing it in their reviews. Not as a way to say that I'm only reviewing your stuff because you reviewed mine, but because you give the option to newer writers to actually acknowledge that they can do that. They can offer their insight and opinions for someone else's insight and opinion. So that's very nice of them. So Solaris Knight again. Interesting. I like it. You will have a lot to write, my friend. A lot to write. Thank you for writing right, wrong. Unit 03. I like where this is going. Okay, I'm glad you like where this is going. And then Tantrum. It's hard to know certain things in your first story. And for me, the main thing is the story description. If you say this is my first time, people will get edgy and wonder if it is any good. Other thing is, if you say this is an adaptation, people will be very prone to look over it entirely. Because they played the games, and there are other adaptations out there. I can guarantee you that. Your writing is indeed good. Heavy on dialogue, but overall it's good for a first shot. The only thing that it needs to work is your advertising skills is all. I'm glad I could help if I did. Sorry if it seemed rough. You know what, Tantrum? You're very truthful, and that's all that matters. So we're gonna go back and read what Sonic the Hedgehog's creator said about the reviews. And I'll put them up there corresponding with him. Okay, actually, sorry guys. Disclaimer, I do not own Sonic the Hedgehog, okay? I think I'll give some quick reviewer responses. So this is actually not the owner of Sonic the Hedgehog, so I don't know. I don't know. What do you want me to say? He's not the owner of Sonic the Hedgehog. He's just a writer. So Tantrum, you misunderstood me. This isn't my first story. Far from it. And I know people don't like to read adaptations, so I'll change up the levels a bit, which you'll see in Marble Zone at the end. That was a yell. I don't even think I saw them, but I'll put them up if I saw them. Hey, I thought I went back and fixed that. Oh well, I'll re-upload it later. Unit 03, thanks. Solar Sonic 100. I know, man. I get that a lot, but don't think I'll be reading about the pointless games or near impossible ones like Sonic Spinball, but I love that game. Pirate Goddess 27. You didn't have to wait too long, and I loved Falcos, by the way. Okay, I wanted to put in Spring Yard Zone here, but I just wasn't up to it, so I'll just make the next chapter longer. This was more than 3 pages, not counting this, so please give me a review. I'm off to read some of my reviewers' stories. I'm just tired. I'm just tired. I'm just tired. I'm just I'm just tired. I don't know how else to describe it after reading this, but I'm just tired. I'm Thanks for watching.